Welcome everybody to another episode of Books and Betches, not to be confused with, I can't wait to hear this one.
Books and
Spacious.
All right.
I'm Kristen, and with me I have
Sperica.
Maria.
Okay. And I'm Kristen.
I want to be
I said
cool
that.
like her.
Oh, then I would, because it's hard when you do an S, because like Tristan is just so
Just
stupid.
because you suck.
Sperica is
I just
so rolling off the tongue.
It kind of does.
It does. Sperica.
Sperica.
Like Sperica.
Like
Smaria works.
Spary. Spare me.
Sparia. Sparia doesn't work.
Sparia works.
Kristen.
Yeah, it's stupid. I just want to be included.
You know what I was thinking about yesterday?
What?
We never call you Chris.
Thank God. I would hate that. I would hate that.
I know you would.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know how people have like
I know
nicknames?
what you call her though.
What?
Tin.
Christy.
Why? Why are you changing
You're
my
choosing
name?
violence today.
Why are we changing?
Because it doesn't fit you at all.
Because like, you know, like we all have nicknames, right?
I call
Garrett
Erica.
calls you Craggle.
Yeah.
You call him Gar.
Yeah.
You call me Mars. We call her E.
Do we?
Then-
I've never
always
called her
call-
E in my life.
Yes, you have.
Ever.
Yeah,
Yes, you have.
Yeah,
When
you
have I ever
When we
called
were
you
back in
E?
the day,
Yeah,
you would
you
call her
have.
E all the time. Everyone called her E.
Yeah.
I swear
You
I've
did.
never done that.
I swear to you, you have.
I'm gonna call you Lake Erie from now on, and it's gonna stick. All my nicknames stick. I don't know why, but my
Mars
nicknames
stuck.
stick. Mars stuck. Gar stuck. I called
very creative.
calling Carl. I called Jarvis. That stuck.
You
Carl.
Jarvis? Who's
Well,
Jarvis?
Fucking Jackie. I call her
Oh.
Jarvis. That's stuck. Carl stuck. Maggle from. I could do this all day.
Maggle?
Shut up, Lake Erie. Let's do this shit. All right. What do we do here? We're a book podcast. We swear, we spoil, we talk about sex. We're not doing book this time.
We're talking about books in a way.
We're talking about books, but not book.
Yes,
I said. Did you not hear how I said that? We're not
No.
doing book this time.
You just forgot the A in that sentence.
I said we're not doing book this time. I meant it.
Doing crook.
I said what I
Sure.
said.
Okay.
We're doing books
This is
time.
chaos.
All right, Lake Erie.
Lake Erie?
You can announce what we're doing. You probably don't even fucking know. You're barely here.
What are we doing? We're talking about the rating scale in which we rate books.
And
The spice level scale.
she did pay attention. Wow.
I'm gonna start it off strong. I'm gonna start this conversation off strong.
Wait. But like, what are we? We're talking about our rating.
Our rating scale, how we rate books.
like on a scale of 1 to 5,
On a
Yes.
scale of one.
and,
Yeah.
and then
Yep.
spice level.
On a scale of 1 chili to 5 chilies.
Okay, great. Now that it's settled, Erica,
And
you
what
can take
that
us
means.
off.
Okay. So first, I'm gonna start in the middle. I'm gonna start with 3.
This is what she does. This is what she does, dude.
Because this is I have recently found
On what side, the rating or the chili?
I'm starting with rating.
Okay.
What I have found and what's frustrating to me is people, and this is kind of this is a bigger conversation where people are talking about is a 3 a good review or a bad review.
Oh, this is the
Ooh.
newest thing.
Is this a thing?
Apparently, authors don't want you to put 3 stars on their Goodreads because Amazon will not push their books out.
Well, no, it's
Authors, I love authors.
Here's
I'm a big fan of authors, but
But-
they can't depict. They can't
No, but if-
depict
not
how
all
you
of them are
rate
doing it.
how you rate books.
No, they're saying don't tag me in a 3-star review.
That I agree
Oh
with.
yeah, don't tag.
I don't
me.
They're
tag
like,
authors
I
at
don't
all.
want. I
Sure.
don't want to be. That's not a good. There
That's
was
not good
one,
enough
there
for
was
them.
one author that said, "Don't tag me in 3-star reviews. That's not a good review."
Oh, okay, that's fair.
And I agree.
Don't tag me is
a
fair.
3-star review is not a good review.
It's decent.
It's
Really?
middle of the road.
It's middle
It
of
is
the road.
absolutely average. If somebody came up to you and said you're a 5, would you be happy?
That's a good point.
Out of 10?
Yes.
Listen, that was more than I thought.
You are a fucking
No.
10.
Get the
Oh,
fuck out of
thanks.
here.
Yeah.
5s are fine.
No, but if somebody
As a book,
if
as
somebody
like your work
came
of
up
art.
to you
Yeah.
and said you're a 5.
Yeah, I'd be like, what the fuck, dude?
If somebody said it and you didn't know about it and you just saw your
I
total
am with you
rating,
here. I have never liked tagging authors. Even the beginning of our like podcast stuff, like I don't put
I know,
authors
I-
in
If
things.
we
Yeah,
say good
it's-
things, I think it's fine.
Even if we do or don't, I don't like tagging
Yeah.
authors.
It is a
I
little,
just-
it is a weird game.
If they want to find a review of themselves,
True.
they can search it.
because I'm thinking,
But I'm
from,
not gonna add them to the stuff.
From my point of view, if I was an author and somebody was like hyping up my book, like that's free
They'll
marketing.
have enough people doing that already.
I feel it, but it's like it's free marketing. I want to know about
I don't know.
it.
We already are. We're already talking about the book, but
True.
I don't have to tag you to tell you, hey, I'm talking about your book.
I understand like the 3-star thing. Like, don't. And when I first read that, you posted that on our Instagram where it was like, don't tag me in a 3-star review. I read that as don't have a 3-star review and like put it online or something, and I was like, what the
No.
fuck? And then I had to reread it, and I was like, okay, yeah, don't tag. Like, that's fair.
Yeah.
Like, if I don't want to know, don't tell me. Like,
Well, there's this weird like conversation right now where people online are saying like we don't want authors in review spaces, which I think is very
That's always
fair,
been the
which
conversation.
I think is very fair. When you tag them, you're inviting them into your space.
Yeah, exactly.
So don't
point. Good
don't
point.
tag. And then I think it's very fair to not tag. I personally wouldn't even tag an author in a 4-star review because you're telling them like
It's not 5.
it's not 5.
right.
I think that's weird, but
Yeah.
that's just on me. That's just personal like
Yeah,
choice.
no, I don't like
think
tagging
it's
them at all.
Whatever.
You're right.
So to me, a 3-star is very middle. Typically, my
Average.
3-star reviews are books that I think there's something wrong. There's something like categorically wrong with the book, whether it's
Really?
like I didn't like the readability of it, or maybe there's a lot of errors, maybe there's a lot of grammar errors, maybe there is just something missing in the overall plot, or there's like problems with the plot. It could be any assortment of those things, or it could be a book, or it could be a book that I think is well written, but I do not like.
Oh.
Okay,
So for me, my rating system helps me when I'm like going to pick another book out, or if I'm trying to recommend books. I need to like categorize my books in that way. So that's not really super fair for authors because
At the end of the
this
day,
is the problem with rating systems.
ratings are just
Yeah.
for people
Right.
who are looking at other books.
yeah.
Is that what
It's
it is,
not-
though? Is it a
a rating
personal
is for-
thing, you know? Yeah.
One, it's opinion based, which is already subjective,
Yep.
right? My opinion and your opinion are going to be different
Totally
depending
different.
on our lifestyles.
They always are.
Our tracks
Yeah.
of
Like, I
everything.
think about
Yeah.
all the different books that I've rated a 3-star, and I'm like, they're not bad books. They're just not books I like.
See,
Sure.
but this is why I think like Goodreads and like these sites that people go to dictate how they're going to read a book. Like sometimes people will go like, well, what do the reviews say? And it's like, that literally has nothing to do with how you're
There-
going to enjoy the book.
there have
be
been
sentiment
but this is
reviews.
why also
Yeah.
like with 3 stars, I know we're sticking on just 3 right now, but I don't go by that. Like her 3-star could be a 5 for me.
Mm-hmm.
So most times I'll see a book, if the synopsis grabs me, then I'll read it. I do
love
not care about the stars that are on it.
Unless the entire book only has like 2 or lower. Like
Yeah,
then
if
you
it's
have to know
1.5 to
something's
2,
wrong.
something has to have been
Has
wrong.
to be wrong, right?
Or there's like some controversy
I
going
think
on.
if you're on
Yeah.
a low 3 end, there you have some.
There's something wrong.
There's something
problems
wrong.
with your
Okay.
book.
All right. That's a good depiction.
When I first started reading, I would not read a book under 4 stars.
But then it's like, what's fake and what's not? Like, you know what I mean? Sometimes authors will have like fake reviews on there where it's like hyping
or
up
people
a
would just
book.
write a book. Like people in the beginning. Like let's say like right now, for example, Crescent Series 3 has been announced. People have
People are
gone in
already
there,
rating.
like,
I
putting
hate
in
that
5
shit.
stars already.
I hate
That's
that.
already going to skew the stars.
How
for
is that
later.
allowed? That's what I don't get.
It
How
should
is
be-
that
it
allowed?
should not be allowed.
No.
It should not be allowed.
I agree. Okay, so your 3 is like that middle. You have a dual reasoning for your 3s.
The 3 has 2 reasons, and that's
Okay.
why I think there should be sentiment attached to reviews. I think you should
I
be able
agree.
to click like 3. I like 3, and then kind of like a sub, like this was well written. There was problems. Like
And I think that's what the
something-
review area
That's where you have to
Some
write
type
the
of-
review under
Yeah.
it.
No, I know,
But some people don't want to.
That doesn't like
Yeah.
factor into the scoring, and some
Sure.
people only look at the scoring. They don't like looking at reviews because it's spoilers, like whatever.
I get that.
So I think that I think there should be more ratings than just that singular rating.
Okay, yeah, I agree.
This is where I think that Goodreads should have a point system for the stars, like 3 point something, 3 point this. I think
Yeah,
that
'cause
helps
the
a lot
The half
too.
stars, I think, would
That
be
matters.
very
Yeah.
helpful, because I think what I would do if a book was not great and I thought had like actual problems, I would rate it a 3. But if it was something that I just didn't like, I would put it a 3.5.
Okay, that's
Like I would
fair.
give it
Yeah.
more for that.
Sure.
So my 2s are unreadable.
Oh.
Like I do not like. There are significant problems.
Yep.
Or like I really hate rage reads, those types of books.
Sure. Then what the fuck's
My
your 1?
my 1 stars are usually like
Offended.
a book that I'm very angry about reading.
DNF ever?
I don't like to
To
rate
rate.
books
I don't
that
like
I
rates
don't
I
finish.
finish.
That's what I
Yeah.
was gonna ask if you guys did that.
Um,
No, I don't either.
But my 1 stars are like egregious.
Wow.
And I only have like 2 1-star.
So then,
ratings.
what's your 4? Is basically mimicking your 2-1, but the opposite.
4 for me is a book that I really liked. I think is really solid. Maybe there's kind of like that subcategory again where it's like there's something missing from it. It could be maybe like one singular thing that I didn't love about it, like
A scene you wanted so
scene-
bad that
yeah,
wasn't there.
There was like something missing from it that kind of like, and what my 5 stars are is like I think about this book after I finish it. There's a feeling that I get after finishing the
That's
book.
my fives too.
When I close
Like,
that book
like,
and I
damn.
go, wow, that was such a good book. And if I
Yeah.
don't feel that, then it automatically makes me put it as a 4
There are some
star because I'm
books,
like,
yeah.
I need it. I need to feel that
Yeah.
to give it a, and I know that sucks because that's like vibes only.
Yeah.
But like that, it's a category thing.
That's
for
what it
me.
is,
for you.
though. And there are some books that I close where I'm just like, damn, the rest of my week is gonna be like shitty now because I don't have this story to fall into. And it's like, ooh, that's
Those are the fives.
And that the 4 stars to me are very good books. I recommend a lot of my 4-star books, like most of my 4-star books. But again, it's usually one element.
It's small things.
Small.
I go back
things.
and forth on the 5 and the 4 because there are times where I close a book and I'm not like, oh man, my whole week's gonna be ruined because I'm not in this world. But I enjoyed that so fucking much to the point where like it feels like it should be
That's
a
why we
5.
need a 4.5.
Yeah, that's a good
That's
point.
where
That's a good point.
with the half star
This
would
is
be
where the half
very
stars come in.
beneficial. Where it's like that one scene that I wanted.
Yeah.
I would rate that.
I
You know
do
what I mean?
think that like
First, like a problem with the plot.
yeah, I do think like definitely a lot of this is overthought a lot when I do it because I go in and I'm just like, okay, well, I read that book and then I look at Goodreads and I look at 1 through 5 and I go, I just felt like just felt like a 2. And
All
I just
right.
put it.
That's
and then
fine. That's
I put
fair.
not a lot of
Like
thought
your
into
vibes
it.
That's
only.
fine.
Yeah, it's
That's
my
okay.
vibes only. And like I try like in the review to be like, oh, I didn't expect to like this or whatever, but like usually my reviews are
I
garbage.
rarely even write a review.
I have to
I've
put
come to
I'm
this.
really trying to write more reviews.
I've come
Yeah.
to a point now where I'm not even rating things that I consider 3 or below.
Really?
Yeah.
It helps me though, so I
so,
remember not to.
For sure.
know.
But
Yeah.
I think especially in books that are so well loved. So the current
Yeah.
example is Flock from the Raven series.
I was so excited for you to talk about this
I
book.
don't like the book. There are a lot of our friends on Discord that love this book.
The way
love
you
the
talk about it, it
series.
sounds unlikable.
I couldn't stand it. To
Yeah.
me, it felt like, and no offense to those who fucking love this book, but it felt like a Wattpad novel
Yeah.
where I had another fucking Tessa from After,
Oh no.
just like inner monologuing me to death.
no.
And I couldn't stand it. It was a rage read to get through. Yes, I could have just DNF'd it. I know. But I wanted to finish it because everybody fucking loves the book.
Yeah.
People love Exodus. That's the
So,
problem.
I
And
finished
you have
it.
to get through Flock to get through Exodus.
You have to get through Flock and fucking... What's the second one? Second one, Exodus?
Second one's Exodus.
I thought that was the third one.
Third one's the finish line. It's an extended epilogue.
Whatever.
An extended epilogue. My
That's what
fucking
everyone's called
nightmare.
it.
400-page book.
My
Everyone's called it.
nightmare.
Yeah, anyway.
Oh my. Okay.
So,
I'll never read. Flock.
I finished Flock.
Yo.
I did not rate it.
Why?
Because I know that I'm an outlier. Everybody else loves the book.
Yeah, but it's a personal.
I don't
thing.
have to come in there with my 2 stars being a negative Nancy.
But the reason I like it is because when I go back and I don't know, like fucking 10 years from now, it's like a log. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, this time in my life, I read this book and I didn't like it, or I loved this. And it's like, well, what if in like 50 years from now, I'm looking at this and I'm like, let me try reading this old ass book one more time and then say I fucking loved it.
I think I'm
like,
going to remember that I hated this
One
book.
thing, but one thing that I don't like about reviews is that
just a
like
cool log.
when I look at the books that I first read, my first like let's say 100 books that I read, and I've read I think 250 each year the last 3 years. So like I think I'm on 150 right now, but
Jesus.
no, not 150. Whatever.
When have
I
you
don't
had the
know.
time?
I'm on 24 and I'm like, wow.
when have you had the time? You have a child now.
I
He
don't read
sleeps.
as much.
Yeah.
She also
anyways.
reads very fast.
Well, she skips a lot of pages.
That too.
I don't even think it fucking counts for the shit you've been reading, but we'll save that for another episode.
Anyways, so I look back at like let's say my first 100 books that I've read, and I sit there and I go, I have learned so much about this genre by reading more books in this genre that I don't know if I would have given this book a
Yeah.
4. I don't know if I would have
Yeah.
given this book a 5.
Yeah.
That's why
And
I'm scared to go back.
I changed
Yeah.
my reviews really often because I sit there and I go, I don't think this book deserves to be a 5 anymore. I don't know, like based
That's a
off
good point.
of
I did
what-
that too, yeah, with
and it's
Mortal
not
Instruments.
it's not just like where you are in your life and like your feelings and this that. It's like no, I've read a ton of contemporary romance, or I've read a lot more mafia romances now,
Yup.
and now I know that this is not actually that good of a book, but at
So
the
I've read
time-
better.
At the time,
Literally, Mortal
this was the
Instruments.
only one that I read.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're constantly kind of
Yeah.
changing your mindset there, and I think that it is important to pick up rereads, especially of some of those like top tier books, to kind of like
I love that.
adjust yourself. And you know what I hate online. This is like I hate.
She hates it.
online, is that
everything
people
online.
like talk so much shit about other people's reviews and like liking certain things, not
It's
liking
all
certain
subjective.
things.
It's
And
so
it's
weird.
like
It's so weird.
it's so
that a
weird
thing?
because
Yes.
Is that really a thing?
yeah,
Yes.
they're always just like, I don't know how these people like that. Well,
It's
you don't
my
know what this
opinion.
person like
Yeah.
read before or hasn't read before. That you
What
don't
their
know,
life
like,
experiences
But
are.
it's
how
also
they
weird
relate
because
to
like
characters.
we're at least our generation was told as kids to just be more independent, be our own like person, right? And I feel like we've turned into this more hive mentality.
Yeah.
Like
well,
if-
Gen Z is very much hive.
It's such a hive mentality
Yeah.
of like,
Yeah.
well, I like this book. That means you should like this book because if you didn't, you're not part of this group.
But that and also the
Yeah.
author side of things. I think people get offended for authors like on their behalf. And it's like if you're
so weird.
if you're an author, like you should expect that everybody's gonna have different opinions. It's the same with
authors are that way. They're like,
there
"Okay,
are
guys."
some though that I've seen where they've been offended by
Yeah.
certain and it's the same as what we're doing right here. Not everybody's gonna like this shit, and it
Yeah.
is very hard to disconnect from the people that hate it and to be like, okay, why do they have this view? And it's because that's a fucking person. It's a human being with a different mind and a different opinion and different like sets of everything. So it's like you have to expect that everybody's gonna have a different opinion. Now, if somebody came into Goodreads and said this book fucking sucked, this author fucking sucks, why would you ever write this? This didn't like that's shitty. You shouldn't
Yeah.
do that. But
Yeah.
to have like constructive criticism or to just say, in my opinion, I didn't like this book.
because of X, Y, and Z, and
That's-
provide like
To me, that's
Yeah.
fair
Yeah.
and fine.
of course.
And
or
I,
even if
yeah.
you're doing it in a comedic way, right?
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
what we do, we're making fun of things,
Yeah.
and we're doing this for entertainment purposes.
Right,
we're
we're-
not doing this. To
you have to
like,
be able to
shred
separate
an author down.
Yeah, you have
Like,
to be
we're-
able to
we're doing it
separate it.
to just joke around and laugh.
separate the author from the story. I understand they wrote it and it came from their brain, but like we're looking at the story as a whole. And I think that people need to see that when they're on Goodreads to be like, okay, this person has a different opinion than me. I don't need to be offended on the
I
author's
also that's
behalf.
why you have to find somebody that you like
Yeah.
to follow.
So
You're
this is
right.
where I was gonna say, I don't know if this is an outlier statement here. It's just coming up because I felt it in the moment. But I feel like sometimes I see reviews on Goodreads where people are just trying to be like those heat-seeker comments. of
You
just
don't like
being
that either, though. I
just to
don't-
be an
yeah.
asshole,
I
or
don't
like,
that.
this book sucks, and then add the
I think
gifts
that's where
in
we
there
should
and
draw
makes
that
it so.
line. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, just don't be a dick. It's not that hard. Like, be nice.
it seems hard for a lot of people.
Yeah, true. I guess you're right.
it does seem very difficult for a lot of people, and I get it.
I mean,
like,
sometimes
right,
I
like-
have to reel myself back in where I'm talking so much shit about a book and I'm like,
Yeah,
okay.
Finley was fine.
It was not good.
I also think sometimes like people try to be funny and they're not, and
doesn't-
then it
it
just
doesn't
comes
land.
and then it
Comes
just
off as
doesn't
bad.
land.
Yeah.
Let me
Love it.
give mine
Yeah.
quickly, my little ratings. 3 for me is mid tier. It's like didn't blow me away. I didn't hate it, but it wasn't like I was like, I could have.
Are yours more vibes?
Mine could be more vibes. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
mine are
don't
all
look for
vibes.
grammar. I don't look for like
Unless it
those
jumps out.
unless it jumps out at me
Yeah.
where I'm like, this sentence doesn't look right. But
Right.
even then, I move past it.
Same.
I'm not gonna like come at the end and was like, well, that one sentence was so off. I'm giving it. But there are moments where one thing will trigger me. So like,
Mindfuck.
what triggered you in Mindfuck?
No,
I haven't
you
finished
did.
it. What did I do?
Like some of the dialogue was.
Oh
like,
yeah, dialogue. If it's like cringy, annoying that I don't like, done.
Yeah. Same.
One thing in Rhapsodic,
Oh.
which we'll get to that book when we get to it, but the one thing that took it from a 5 to a 4,
Yeah.
or 4.5 at least, was the Harry Potter.
Oh yeah, references.
So the references
that one
to
didn't
it,
didn't bother
remember.
me at all. Didn't
she
bother
would
me
be
at all.
like, oh, me and Des would
They
sit and
watched
watch
it.
Harry
Oh
Potter.
yeah.
That didn't bother
To-
me.
I thought it was
But
not as
if
egregious.
it was a one-off, fine, but it's mentioned 2 or 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
It's same thing with
So like
Dating Dr. Dill.
yeah.
That book is a contemporary romance. The amount of times they mentioned Taylor Swift, I was like, I'm done.
So do you think
I'm
it's
done.
a certain? Here's the thing.
No,
you don't
if-
like Harry Potter. You
I
don't.
do like Harry Potter.
Well, you don't like when it's like mentioned in things. And
I don't
Taylor Swift, you have beef with, and Twilight, you like. But I know those are like the 3 things I've heard you talk about when they're mentioned. But if it was like, let's say like Billie Eilish was mentioned in it, would like
I would
that,
still
would it
annoyed.
bother you? Okay,
because you're
yeah.
dating the book.
Yeah, totally. I
You're
just wanted
making it
wanted to make
unless
sure.
you're doing it as a like maybe like a 50s or 60s, like Frank Sinatra.
Sure.
Because by then they're so widely known. It's been so many years. Fine.
Okay.
But these
Something in the
newer
moment, yeah,
things just dates the book. I want to feel like I'm in a
I think
different
Harry
world with them.
Potter is
Is that now? Yeah.
a
I
Star
don't want
Wars,
it.
Star
I
Wars,
don't want it.
Harry
Yeah.
Potter.
Once
Twilight,
a
I think
one-off
is
is
too.
fine. A one-off is fine.
She mentioned it more than
But
once.
if you mention it more than once, it feels like you're just digging. I get it. You like Harry Potter. You can just say we sat and watched my favorite movies.
yeah.
I don't need the tagline. I don't need the freaking like footnote Harry Potter theory.
So what if she had said like the Breakfast Club? Would that have bothered you as much?
Again, one-off, fine.
Got it.
If their gimmick was,
I think
we
it's like pop
watch-
culture inserted in a book.
If their gimmick was like, we like to watch classic films,
takes you out of it, right?
takes me out of it.
Got it. Okay.
Especially in a urban fantasy setting. I'm like,
I agree with that.
Weird.
I agree with that.
but anyway. 4-star for me. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
There might have been one or two things that I just like brought down either in plot form or dialogue form, but it wasn't like a big egregious mistake.
Sure.
5-star, same as you. I'm thinking about it constantly. In the moment, I'm having the best time. I keep wanting to pick the book back up. If I'm like currently reading, I'm like, oh, I don't want to put this down. Like, I want to keep reading. That's a 5-star for me.
Yeah,
Okay.
And if it makes me cry, 5 stars.
Maria's
in a good way.
vibes.
Yeah, I'm all
Your
vibes.
I'm all vibes.
I'm
yeah,
all
yeah,
vibes.
yeah.
You
Like,
guys are vibes.
I'm not qualified enough to be a literary like
right. I struggle, man.
person.
I struggle a lot. There's times where I'm just like, even with Finley Donovan, I was like, I really didn't like this fucking book, but like, it didn't make me mad. I don't know where I'm at here, so I just gave it a 2 and like didn't even think second.
I think sometimes you don't know why you don't like something.
yeah,
Yeah, that could be it too.
like, and then like I'll give 5s out, no problem. Like, you know,
I
like
used to be like
I'm
that.
like, oh, I liked it. It's a 5.
I give 4s now, no problem.
I'm leaning towards that.
There
more.
are some people online that implore you to have critical analysis with like the books that you read.
I don't give a shit
And it's
about them.
like whether like even if you sit there and you go, I like this book because the color blue is mentioned, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
that's
yeah.
critical analysis in their opinion, right? Any type of
You just have to have a reason.
any type of reasoning to be like, I like this book, I don't like this book. But I truly honestly think sometimes you just don't like stuff.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's just like it doesn't
It
interest
hits the
you
wrong
or
way.
it hits you the wrong way. Like
It could be the
sometimes
day
it's-
that you're
sometimes
having.
there isn't critical analysis with it.
I think it all comes down to the start of a book. If you're in a bad mood and you're just not feeling it and you're not totally invested and you start a book and it's just not hitting the right way. Like, we're going to talk about Nettle and Bone later, and I do think a lot of like my opinions on that book have to do with
if you're in a different mindset.
I wasn't in the right mindset going into it. It's like
That's
that
why
could
I'm
have
such
a
a
whole
mood
effect.
reader.
Yeah.
That is why I'm such a mood reader, because I need to like be in it. I need to like be vibing with that
Yeah.
like wavelength.
that could have
at
been
that
why I
time.
hated Flock.
True. You
But I
never
kept
know.
giving it chances and it wasn't working.
I
So
think you just hated that.
Yeah, it sounds like you just hated it. But and to be honest, like I think that book is very confusing, and I don't want to say I rage read it because I enjoyed.
I raged through
I
it.
kinda wanna read
enjoyed
it.
being
No,
in
Because
the
we could do a rage
lurk.
read.
No, I honestly, I know I came up with the rage read thing, but I feel bad on rage reads now because then it becomes this whole thing of like, well, now you're
no.
bashing an author's book.
We don't have to
they
call
work
it
so
that.
hard.
See, this is the line that I was
I
talking
don't
about.
think that that's.
I see it being construed that way in some points.
Oh, for sure. That's going to happen. But
I don't
But
feel
it's
like getting
it's
in
something
fights.
that happens to people.
I know. I
You
agree.
rage through a book because you're like, I wanna read it.
But I don't want to dedicate a whole episode to where I go page
We should
by
just
page.
talk about Flock. It doesn't have to be a rage read. We could just
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, if you want to do it, let's do it.
Let's flock to it. I will say
Flock to it.
I didn't expect. I don't even know why I said that. Actually, it like left as soon as I said it. I think going into this little episode that we were talking about, we were gonna also include the spice levels, but part of me wants to make that its own episode because
Because we're already at 30 minutes. and
yeah,
this
we
is-
did a really good job talking about ratings. Let's save that.
Yeah.
Let's wait. Let's make them wait.
for
Let's
them
make
to get
them-
triggered by my
let's
spice
make 'em
levels
wait,
because
yeah.
ever since Corey was in this podcast room, I have triggered people by calling something smutty when it's not.
Yeah, I like this. let's edge him a little bit. So, yeah, we're gonna edge
2
you.
chili peppers.
That's only 2. Oh, we gotta talk about this. All right.
All right.
Thank you everybody for joining us. I know this wasn't a book. We will be back with more books soon. We're gonna have a couple more episodes like this, which is exciting. I know some of you love it. I'm sure some of you hate it.
They like hearing us discuss.
Yeah. Okay. You're just.
That's the feedback we've gotten.
Oh, okay, cool. We've gotten mixed.
We're not on the socials, so.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. But hey, if you love this, great. Thank you for being
If
here.
you don't worry. There's other books coming.
And don't forget, we are on YouTube. So look up Books and Betches on YouTube. You'll get to see us talk about spice levels in the future. And I know you're going to want to see that. Go on to our Instagram. That's books_n_Betches, BETCHES. If you don't know by now, what the fuck? Click the link tree. You'll see our Patreon. If you go over there, we have a book club, which is really cool. Every once in a while, we have somebody on. I think it's once a month for every book.
Every month.
Yeah, every month.
We have someone on.
We have a guest come on.
Which
one
is
of
a
you,
patron.
One of you, patrons. You get to talk about the book with us. We also put up some of our behind the scenes and something really exciting that has either already happened or is about to happen. I don't know when this posted, but we are going to be filming us baking the cake that we promised you for Creature Cafe
10,
so
which
we're
we
going to
forgot
be
about.
baking a dick cake, and if you want to see it happen, you have to be a Patreon member. I'm sorry, but this is us
has to
being
be
marketing
behind the
geniuses.
It has to be behind the
Yeah.
paywall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely check that out if that's something you're interested in, which I know that it is because you're a fan of ours.
And as Erica says on the Instagram a couple weeks ago, there are some books in there you guys have been asking us to read
yes,
that
they're
are
coming.
already done on the Patreon.
Yes.
So
If
Academy,
you do sign up,
they're
you
coming.
can
Project Hail Mary.
And full disclosure, we do have a list. Like, I don't want people to think they're just shouting into the void. We have a huge fucking list of books that we want to read in general for the podcast, and a lot of them are your recommendations. So I don't want you to think like, oh, they're just ignoring us, because we do write a lot of these down.
yeah, I have a whole
so
list.
Don't feel like you're being misheard. But unheard.
Unheard.
I don't fucking know. We love you all. We can't wait to see you in the next one. Hope you have a great day. Bye.
Goodbye.